What's up everybody, it's your coach Marwan from Marwan Killer Fitness. On today's video we're going to be talking about the ketogenic diet and fat loss. So for those of you who are not aware what the keto diet is, it basically involves switching the macros to 85% fats, 10% protein, 5% carbs, but no starchy carbs such as fruits, rice, cereals, bread, pasta. Okay, even some starchy vegetables are not allowed, or rather have a yellow flag next to it. Okay, so let's talk about the ketogenic diet and why people think it's superior for fat loss. Well, the whole craze seems to be behind insulin, because insulin is a fat storing hormone, and people think that they stop insulin or they're releasing insulin, therefore they'll lose more body fat. But guess what? You can still store body fat regardless of whether you have insulin circulating in the blood, through two hormones called Hormone Sensitive Lipase, which is HSL, and the ASP, acylation stimulating protein. So both of these kind of work with and counteract each other to store fat, even though you've got no carbs and no insulin present in the blood. All right. So a prolonged surplus of energy, guys, so that means an increase in amount of calories that you eat above your maintenance calories for a period of time, is what drives your fat gain, not a single macronutrient. So fat is not the enemy, just like carbs is not the enemy, and protein is not the enemy either. So there's another myth that kind of being in ketosis is far superior to being on a normal diet, to actually burning more body fat. And we'll talk about that more in a second. There was a research group that was done on people, and this is one of the only research paper that I know that people lost body fat on the ketogenic diet. And the whole reason behind it is that they didn't actually control the amount of protein that these people ate. So therefore, it wasn't a strict ketogenic diet. Now, you know that protein is the most thermogenic ingredient. Roughly 20-30% of the macros from protein go towards digesting. So you can see why these people lost fat on the ketogenic diet. Now, there was a study done by a guy called Weigel and Co. All right, and I'll give you guys a link to this research paper after this video in the description box right below. So they gave these people they gave their subjects 15% extra protein per day, from 15 to 30%. They increased their protein levels. And what they found, that these people ate 441 calories less per day, guys. 441 calories per day. That equates to a net fat loss of 4.9 kilograms over a 12-week period. All right. So these people that actually lost lost body fat, one, because of the amount of protein that they had, and two, because protein is more satiating than any other macronutrients, and therefore is going to keep you full for longer, therefore you're going to eat less. All right. So in my mind, there's no benefit to the ketogenic diet beyond a first 7-day period, simply because you're going to lose a lot of water in that 7 days period. So which is going to make you feel as though you've actually lost body fat, when in fact a lot of it is kind of water and glycogen. All right. So beyond that, leptin levels, which is the kind of hormone that drives the many metabolic activities, the thyroid hormones, declines to baseline level. So then the body will start to adapt, and then will start to kind of adapt to the decrease in calories and energy. All right, and therefore it's going to burn less activity. That's the way. It's going to burn less calories, because that's the way the body is designed. It's always designed to adapt to every situation that is present. All right, so with that, you're always going to get an increase in cortisol, and we talked about cortisol before. It's going to increase your blood sugar, and it's going to break down your proteins, which is made for your muscles. So therefore, you're going to be smaller. And also, keto is going to impair your exercise levels. So basically, it's not beneficial for someone who's going to be doing higher intensities. Above 85% to 90 and above % of maximum intensity. whether that's a 1 rep max on deadlifts, whether that's a 1 rep max on bench press or beyond, okay, or something else. It's all relative. All right, so if you're going to be weaker in the gym, you're not going to be able to get the energy to train as well as you do before, as you have done when you have carbs in your carbs and glycogen. And therefore, you're not going to be able to burn as much body fat as you would have done with having carbs. So to wrap up there, guys, most diets that result in weight loss, okay, the subject will actually have been able to maintain the diet for a period of time, which is why they've lost body fat. I've not read any scientific paper today that has said that you can lose, or rather that the subject have done it beyond a certain period of time. Sure, you can lose body fat on a ketogenic diet, but there are better ways to do it. So another thing that I need to make you guys aware is that increase increased energy expenditure and reduce calorie intake doesn't always equal more calories burned. That's because the body again will adapt to the amount of fat that you have, and therefore will start to recirculate that fat in your blood, especially during periods of rest from the exercise. All right. So when you have a kind of a hypocaloric condition, and therefore you're having a lot less calories than what you're burning, the body will regulate the hunger up, will kind of regulate the hunger and energy expenditure hormone. So therefore it always wants to get in a state of homeostasis. So if you want to lose fat, guys, the only way to do it is through a sustained caloric deficit that's either linear or daily. Okay, so linear being weekly, non-linear being daily. So the amount that you reduce calories by will depend on how lean you are. And the leaner that you are, the less aggressive you can be with your cuts. The more body mass or fat mass that you have, the more aggressive that you can be. And for those of you guys that don't know how to calculate your calories, I've done a free video series on it, and what I'll do, I'll link it down below for you guys again, so that you can go to it and have a look and work out your calories and macro requirements. All right, so to wrap up, guys, yes, you can lose body fat on a ketogenic diet, but it's going to be a lot slower than you would have done on a normal calorie diet. And that's because of the prolonged, especially if you're not tracking how many calories you're taking in. Okay, so if you're always going up and down like a yo-yo, you're taking in 2,000 calories one day and then 2,700 the next day, and you don't know how much you're taking in each day, you're going to find it difficult to lose the body fat. And that's simply because you need to have a sustained drop in calories in order to lose the fat. So like always, the best diet that you can be is the one that you can do, is the one that you can follow, guys. All right, just because the ketogenic diet says that it burns more fat, it doesn't mean, or the intermittent fasting or Atkins for that matter, burn more fat, it doesn't mean that it's right for you. It doesn't mean that you can actually follow it. So always follow a diet that is going to be sustainable long term. So with the ketogenic diet, what you might find is after going off it, you might find that you put on all the weight that you lost back, especially the fat, and that's because you're going to increase the amount of cravings that you had for the foods that you're not being able to eat. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. Before I let you go, I want to show you how to increase your testosterone levels naturally by going to the link right next to it. It says download your free report. All right, you get taken to a download page and you enter your name, email address, and then I'll send you your free reports on how to increase your testosterone levels naturally. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, please leave me a thumbs up and leave me a comment to let me know what videos you want me to do next, and I'll do my best to do that for you. In the meantime, have a great day. We'll talk again soon. See you later, guys.